All right, everybody, good afternoon, and we're back. We are back on schedule with the Seahawks videos. Well, we will be soon. Obviously, a Monday night game creates a little bit of a scheduling kerfluffle, but we'll move past it pretty quickly here. So, I know that last night's game kind of marked a pretty significant, how do you want to say, turning point for a lot of fans and their mentality where they're not even really thinking about this season right now. But there is still stuff to learn from the rest of this season. So I'm going to continue on with the weekly videos as I've been doing them, and we'll see what we can pick up about this team's future from the data that we can collect. So we're going to do Snap Count Monday on a Tuesday, and we'll take a look and see who got playing time against the Saints, because there's probably something interesting to learn there. And no matter how much we may dislike this fact, there's a fairly good chance that the people in charge of this team right now are going to be in charge of this team next year. So the way in which they make decisions on playing time does matter. So let's start with the offense. Running backs. We did not have Chris Carson, and we dealt with that by giving a pretty even split between Alex Collins and Rashad Penny. Collins had 22 snaps, Penny had 20 of, I believe, let me check here real quick. My bad. 56 total offensive snaps, by the way. Travis Homer had 12 snaps as a running back, and DJ Dallas had 1. So nobody in the backfield was particularly effective. It was all pretty weak. Collins ineffective, Penny even more ineffective. Homer had 1 carry for, 12 or 14 yards, so I guess that's good. In terms of efficiency, it's certainly better than anything anybody else had, but yeah, not exactly a great situation to put your offense in, but they did a pretty good job distributing snaps, pretty much what you would expect, but nobody did anything really. And that's it for the running backs. Hopefully we can get a more healthy Alex Collins next week against a much weaker run defense, and we can actually see some degree of success. And maybe we can start using Penny in the ways that we need to use him while we have him, which, with the way Penny is, might be for like 3 more plays. Okay, wide receivers. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Out of 56 plays, Lockett played 48 of them and Metcalf played 46. So we're actually seeing those guys both get a non-trivial amount of time off during the course of the games. Metcalf is down to about 84% of the snaps. Lockett's at about 88. So both those guys are seeing a decent chunk of snaps off the field, which is kind of interesting. And I don't really know how to read into it. My thought process is that we're running some packages that don't call for any receivers, period, because it's not like we're utilizing a lot of other receivers to replace them on these snaps. But I find it interesting that Lockett's getting more snaps than Metcalf, because Lockett's older, his skills are more obviously in decline, and right now Geno doesn't seem to have a good rapport with Lockett for the most part. I know it's not going great with Metcalf either, but it seems to me that Geno works with Metcalf a little better than Lockett. So I'm a little surprised by that, but I don't know if there's anything there to read into. Freddie Swain got a lot of snaps. He got 43, so he was on the field constantly, which tells you that when Eskridge gets back, if he ever freaking gets back, really starting to lose my patience with that one, by the way. Freddie Swain, the number of snaps that he's getting does indicate that there is a clear desire for a number 3 receiver in this offense, and hopefully we can get somebody who's a little better than Swain. Not that Swain is terrible, but you got to be able to do better. Penny Hart got 10 snaps, and Philip Dorsett got nothing. So Penny Hart, he's getting consistent work. He's gotten at least a couple snaps in every game, and these last 5 games he's gotten about 10 snaps a piece. Pretty non-trivial. I would call it non-trivial, but not really seeing the guy that I was told about in training camp. Finally, tight ends. The interesting storyline here is that ever since Geno hit the field, Disley's been getting more snaps than Everett. Now, I don't know if Everett is still less than 100% because he had COVID, or if this is just because we want to run the ball more because Geno's in, or if Dissly is just taking the number one tight end job. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but right now, these last two games, Dissly's gotten more snaps than Everett. This last game, Dissly got 40, Everett got 33, and Parkinson got 4. And it's not like either guy is tearing the field up, but this is probably just a side effect of having Geno out there and trying to run the ball more. And I don't know. Everett obviously did something really stupid last night with that penalty, but I don't think that's why he's getting fewer snaps. Seems like a situational thing. Okay, that's your defense. Let's switch over to, I'm sorry, that's your offense. Let's switch over to the defense now. Starting with the defensive ends, and there are some things here that I actually like. If only these guys were playing a little better, I could actually really celebrate it. But as it is, we're actually doing a pretty good job splitting snaps between our defensive ends. Dunlap's out of, by the way, 75 snaps, I think it was. 75 defensive snaps, which is still way too much, and a sign that ultimately this team cannot get off the field consistently because they're not creating enough turnovers, and they're not generating enough punts, and their offense can't stay on the field. But putting all that to the side, you had Dunlap getting 29 snaps, Alton Robinson getting 29 snaps, Kerry Hyder got 33, and Rasheem Green got 38. Now, I don't know why Rasheem Green gets more snaps than the other guys, because he's just a jag. But overall, that is not a bad spread. The only guy here who's playing an overwhelming number of snaps is Mayowa. And Mayowa plays so many snaps in coverage, it kind of feels like he has a dual role. And I don't like that. And I've gone over many times why I don't like it. But Benson Mayowa is not having the same amount of wear and tear on his body per snap as somebody like a Dunlap or an Alton or a Kerry Hyder, because Mayowa drops back into coverage all the time. It's becoming a part of this defense. It's a part of this defense that I hate, but I can't deny that it's there. So, ignoring the Mayowa thing, this is a pretty nice spread, and we accomplished it without having Darrell Taylor. So, this is actually kind of nice. I don't hate it. I wish the guys were playing a little better, but hey, it's not like the defense was bad last night, so maybe they're onto something. Going on to defensive tackle, I see more things that I kind of like here. I just wish the guys were playing better. Poona Ford, 51 snaps. Al Woods, 43. Al Woods, he didn't play a bad game. He played a very stupid game last night, and I'm still mad at him. But Brian Monet, 38 snaps. Pretty nice spread for your defensive tackles. Poona and Al Woods start. Monet fills in for them consistently off the bench. And then you've got a little bit from Kimdichie. He had 12 snaps. Not a huge presence by any stretch of the imaginations, but every little bit helps. And this is the kind of rotation that I was hoping we would have before this season started. Unfortunately, too many of the guys are just not playing very well. But the fact that we had a game where we had 75 defensive snaps and the only guys who played more than 50 of those snaps on the lines were Mayowa and Poona, and Mayowa plays a lot of those snaps in coverage, it's pretty good. I wish it meant something, but I kind of appreciate that we're doing it anyway. Okay, linebacker up next. This is going to be real simple. Bobby Wagner played every snap. Okay, there were 74 snaps, by the way. My apologies. 74. Jordan Brooks played 59. He's at about 80% for the season, which that's where he needs to be in terms of his playing time. So that's good. As for his play, well, he played pretty well last night. I'll give him that. Jordan Brooks made some positive plays last night. I liked what I saw. I don't think we're going to find out about Jordan Brooks until he gets to play in the middle, which is his natural position. But he held up pretty well last night, and I kind of liked what I saw. He was somebody who I was down on, who I'm a little less down on right now. And no other linebackers played. Taylor was injured. Barton, no. Bellore, no. Bellore actually, I think, got a snap on offense, but not defense. And Radigan, no. So pretty simple here. Now we go to cornerbacks, and kind of an interesting wrinkle here. We can go over the specific numbers first, but I do want to come back to this. DJ Reed played every snap except for one. Sidney Jones played 23 snaps coming back from that concussion. Trey Brown played 50 snaps, so he's definitely seized most of that role from Sidney Jones, which I like. And at this point, there's really no reason to continue to play Sidney Jones at all. Marquise Blair played 20 snaps and then he got injured. Yeah, it doesn't look good, by the way. That's my prognosis right now. I'm not optimistic about Blair getting back anytime soon. Maybe never. He's in the third year of his rookie deal and hasn't really done anything for this team, so he may have played his last game as a Seahawk. We'll see. But I'm not optimistic about him coming back anytime soon. Amadi played 25 snaps, forced that fumble, so he did his job. Ryan Neal played 16 snaps, not a whole lot, but he got on the field a decent chunk. Now, there's some stuff to analyze in there. Like, Amadi's obviously going to take over the nickel role pretty exclusively going forward, I think, because Blair's going to be out. Trey Brown takes most of the snaps from Sidney Jones, which is good. You can analyze Ryan Neal's playing time, but looking at these numbers, the thing that really stands out to me is that we had defensive backs on the field constantly. It seems like if you add these numbers up, we probably had 5 defensive backs on the field about pretty close to 100% of the time, or somewhere around the 80 percentile range. So we were in nickel constantly last night, and some of that was because we didn't have Taylor, which reduced our ability to distribute snaps among linebackers, but it worked. We had a good game on defense last night, legitimately held the Saints really well. So hopefully the people in charge of distributing playing time on this team see this and realize that maybe playing these DB heavy sets is going to help a lot. So hopefully this is the new normal. I want to see 2 linebackers and a lot of DBs on the field going forward. That's it for Snap Count Monday on a Tuesday. We'll see you guys later. Go Hawks.